Hi everyone, Avalon here. So this is another video concerning the targeted individual community and some of the experiences that I have been aware of in my life that seem to be different. Now I'm going to talk about this one first because I'm beginning to believe, for one, let me just put it this way. When I leave my home, probably within the past, I'd say 6 to 7 years, it's not like I have just run into normal situations. And the last video can give you some examples of potential things one can run into. And I do not leave my home to purposely go find bizarre experiences, and I refuse to say I have a broken picker or any of that kind of thing, but I will say that some things happen to more people than others that just don't line up, or they line up too well. Now, this is my new theory, okay? So, anyway, we've got the gang stalking, we've got the street theater, we've got the situations that show up that make absolutely no sense whatsoever, and I'll get more particular on some more of my videos, that makes you wonder that things are completely off, okay, for you compared to, say, the normal people on the planet. And I'm going to give you an example. So my neighbor is a 28-year-old man, boy, very kind, very open, very friendly, and met him and met some of his friends, and I went over there and hung out a few times, and we're hanging out and, just having some beers, but suddenly I'm there, I'm by myself, thinking it's about time to go home. Now, this is just an example. And he starts to do some of those stretches, like when you're on all fours and you stretch down on the carpet and then you stretch back. It's kind of like a cat stretch, all right? I see no problem with that. It's in his own apartment. It is late. I'm getting ready to go. Suddenly, though, when he starts to come back at me, he pulls his shorts down and literally shows me his, excuse my French, asshole, his butt. And then he goes back down again in a stretch, and then comes back at me again with that. Well, let's just say that was out of context for the visit. And it was very inappropriate behavior, and I left, okay? And he didn't remember doing anything like that. And I bring that up because I've had other experiences show up like that for me as well. And I'm beginning to believe, especially now that we've got issues with silly coronavirus and stuff, and I'm believing that more people are targeted than we know, is that, pure mind control, pure remote neural monitoring, for one thing, it's free, all right? And I'm wondering what would make me think that our government or any government would want to pay gang stalkers, literally, to do like car skits and shit like that, right? No, and they can do it for free when all they have to really do is to perhaps remote neural monitor or go into another human being like my neighbor's brain, okay, and do the same to him. But it's there to trigger me because he doesn't remember it. And I've noticed that. I've noticed a lot more people behaving very bizarre-like and not remembering. And again, there's a lot of traumatized people out there, but for the targeted individual, these kinds of situations come up more oftenly than not. And, who's to say this person couldn't have been dangerous? So my point would be on this particular video, and I'll keep it short, is that I am beginning to believe that the perpetrators that we're so pissed off at, quite honestly, could be victims themselves. And with this type of technology that not a lot of people have as much time as, say, I do or you do to be reviewing and researching this, don't even know this is happening to them, okay? So I'm going to leave it at that. And, I said in my last video about how it's probably good to get spiritual. Again, that is a personal choice. By no means would I want anyone to do, I'm not going to force religion down anyone's throat. Nothing. But what I want to come up with is a way to live peacefully amidst the continual torture, traumatic situations, and quite frankly, the culling or the ripping off of the human being and the American people or our country and our planet. And to be able to get through this, because we're going to need help, all right? This is something we cannot do alone, because if this is seriously government technology and it's a supercomputer thinking half as fast as I do, we're gonna have to figure out a coping skill. That's my point. Anyway, peace.